We really see, particularly for some of our female clients, the need for knowledge and the right information about the separation process.
To go through this, the hardest time in their life. It's separation, it's divorce, even death in some situations.
Knowledge is power. Once you have it, you have so much more certainty about where to go.
Get the tools and the guidance and the know-how to be able to rebuild their lives confidently.
I always wanted to build a program that would just help them and guide them and bring the professionals in to hold their hand.
She asked me and several others to be involved in creating events that helped women going through separation to essentially rebuild.
Wherever you are on your journey, it's such an emotional time, and it's really hard to think, what do you do first? Like, who do you speak to first when there's so much going on? You've got children to look after.
The financial side can be really challenging because, often there's a shared home involved, and there might be shared investments or savings, shared debts.
The biggest question is what kind of parenting arrangements should be implemented, and also what am I entitled to? And I think until people have some understanding about what they're entitled to and how court actually determines a property settlement, they really don't have the nerve to sometimes leave a relationship, or really just don't know where to begin.
It's not just to do with their finances, they're rebuilding their whole life.
So Re.Build in its current iteration is a 2-hour workshop with 4 amazing professionals and experts in their field. So we've got a family lawyer, a finance specialist, financial planner and a life coach. And you hear from all of us over the course of the evening.
Anyone can sign up for one of our Sydney, Brisbane or Melbourne events. They are happening in Sydney on the 17th of May, Brisbane on the 18th of May and in Melbourne on the 18th of June. You can sign up online via Eventbrite under the Re.Build events. Sign up for a free ticket and come along on the night and get some advice and walk away feeling empowered.
And it's great to be able to provide such a resource to women that they can use and give them that confidence to go out and do it.
So I'll be speaking about how property settlements work, whether or not you're in a de facto relationship and how to recognise that, and then giving about 10 or so tips about what to do at separation from a family lawyer's perspective. Kath from Property Before Prada will speak about the mortgage lending aspects of rebuilding if you want to get back into the market. Renae speaks about how to rebuild yourself from nothing in terms of financial advice, and then Shannah Kennedy, she's a life coach and speaks about really some aspects about how to pull yourself together and get through this.
From the feedback from that very first Re.Build in Melbourne, we knew that we were onto something because we had so many women reach out and say, when are you coming to Sydney? When are you coming to Brisbane?
They were on the night exchanging numbers with one another, and they'd sort of built their own community from within the event, which was so nice to see.
I think what you are looking for is hope at that time, because you can't imagine coming through it and what that might look like. And again, meeting the women at Re.Build, they were really, really strong, successful in their own way, and that really kind of provided a bit of hope and excitement as well, that it's going to be so fine.
Their feedback on the night was just so overwhelmingly positive that we just knew we had to take this further.
We are excited. We are taking this on our roadshow. Later in the month we are heading it to Sydney on the 17th and also then on to Brisbane on the 18th, and then back here to Melbourne in June on the 15th. So we'd love to welcome as many women as we possibly can.
One of the important things about offering this to women is that we see so many people who are experiencing, who have experienced financial abuse or just have a general lack of understanding about their financial circumstances, sometimes by choice, sometimes not by choice, and the ability to then educate people and put this on for free so that people can attend regardless of their financial circumstances is to me just such a rewarding component of it.
Women typically earn less than men. That translates impacts into their superannuation balances, and women are typically caregivers, so might take time out of the workforce to raise a family or to care for loved ones. So they're kind of already starting, behind the 8 ball when it comes to being financially independent. So to be able to really help women to get their life, back on track and to be able to build a financial plan for themselves and reach that financial independence and financial security is really something I'm really passionate about.
We are so grateful to have the backing of Lander and Rogers, who host these events. They are not cheap to put together, and it's something as small business owners as we all are, we are very grateful.
The Lander and Rogers Family Law Team is the single largest national family law team in Australia. So I guess with that title comes an obligation to be giving back to the community. Having input from companies like Property Before Prada and Money Mode is really crucial. It's a free event. Come along, get some information, feel empowered. Knowledge is power. Once you have it, you have so much more certainty about where to go, and reach out and get advice from people. It really does make a difference.
I've gone through the whole process now, and I'm through the other side, which is really exciting. Well, I've got a terrific supportive partner. We're in a really happy place. We're actually pregnant with our first child again, which is probably one of the most exciting things that's happening in our life. And again, if I could have had a crystal ball back when I was really in the trenches and really in the thick of it, to say this is what life is going to look like in 18 months or 2 years or 3 years or whatever it might be, gosh, it would have just provided so much comfort. But again, the ladies at Re.Build, they really assure you of that.